Yeah, the people doing amazing things with vegan food, and I try to make it taste just as good, and still use great ingredients because I know what's out there, from my experience, and what's the best chocolate to use that's vegan, and everything that goes with it. What's the best blend of flours that's completely gluten free to use? I've tested them all. When I did a recipe for vegan, I went from I tried literally like 6 different versions of whatever the fat was before I determined which fat I wanted to use as a substitute. I did 6 different blends of whatever the egg substitute was, and I figured it out. So it was like literally like 4 different ingredients that I was testing 6 times. So I would test each recipe that I was trying to get done like about 24 times before I came to the right one. And you can't do it like on the same day because these things take like time to rest and test. This was a matter of a couple of months per recipe, but at the same time, you're doing more than one while you're doing it. So I would be working on like 3 to really get down on and make the cookies as right as I could. I even have a bread pudding, which is crazy because that's all like custard usually, and milk. I have a great croissant dough that I do completely vegan. I mean, I have a really good arsenal and an understanding of vegan cooking because I don't just do, like, that's the type of chef I've always been. I don't just do something just to be on my menu. Like I have to really go all out and investigate it and find the best of everything before it ends up being what I use. Always going to have, of course, the glaze, the OG. You're always going to have an old-fashioned cake donut that's just got a buttermilk glaze on it, and it's made with sour cream, the sour cream base. You're going to have an apple fritter because I think that's a must. But they're all going to have a little twist on it to make it maxed out. Like one's going to be made, the apple fritter will have a fresh gala apples, of course, nothing canned. And it's going to have a brown butter glaze on it with a pinch of Maldon sea salt. Or the Boston cream is going to have a homemade chocolate curl and fresh vanilla beans in it instead of just being out of a bag. Yeah, so like this is the difference. Like the jam that's in my jelly donut is to be a sugar jelly donut, but it's going to have whatever's in season. It'll change out depending on what's in season. It's going to be made locally. I have the best jammer in South Florida. And it's not because I can't make jam, because I make probably the best jam that there is. I used to do it all the time, but I've learned in my experience now over the last 9 years of running a donut shop that there's some things that are actually smarter as a businessman because of training and of like refrigeration, like space in general, and spoilage, that it's better to get sourced by someone that makes it themselves locally. So it's almost like you have that person on your staff, but they're making it in another kitchen. It's not like I'm buying a product like Smucker's, which is nothing wrong with Smucker's. I mean, that's what I use, but I'm not gonna say it's not a good product. Some great stuff. I rather use stuff that doesn't have a bunch of preservatives in it. And like I said, I love using local whenever I can. So it's a lot of like help the community, help my own neighbors, and serve something awesome. Even if it costs a little more, that's the reason, but it's still going to be in a good range. Like my donuts are going to range from $3 to $5, the most expensive ones, but they're going to honestly be as elaborate and as delicious and as good ingredients as some of the places where you're buying stuff that costs like $12 for one piece of something.
What would you like to be most known for?
Well, as someone who really inspired someone, that really means a lot to me whenever someone comes and tells me that I inspired them. And luckily I've been blessed to be able to do that for people. Definitely didn't go out there trying to do that. I just always worked my butt off, and people started liking what I did and respecting it. And then didn't realize right away to appreciate those people. And in the last few years, I've really focused on treating others with love and kindness and respect and mutual understanding and respect. And that's made it even more amazing. Honestly, like when you can be a really like talented, amazing person at one thing, and people start liking you, but then you're just a dick to them, like, and they still might like you or might respect you. But when you can be awesome at something and still also people love you, that's when you've like done something amazing. So that's what I kind of like to be, like somebody that people looked up to but also admired as a person.
Yeah. And where